All right, so you ready to dive into this stack of news straight from the governor's desk?
Always up for a good deep dive, especially when it involves AI, California, and enough legal jargon to make your head spin.
This time, it's about deepfakes. California just hit the go button on some seriously big AI laws, and we're going to break it all down.
Yeah, California making moves in tech. It's practically a yearly tradition at this point. But seriously, what happens in California rarely stays there.
Right. What Silicon Valley doing today is what the rest of the world is grappling with tomorrow.
These laws could be the canary in the coal mine, signaling a huge wave of AI regulation globally. It's not just tech junkies who need to be paying attention.
Okay, so big picture, California's serious about AI, but let's zoom in. What's actually changing because of these new laws? We're talking multiple bills here, right?
Right. Three, to be exact. Each one tackles a different angle of AI's potential for, let's just say, mischief.
Mischief, I like that. So where do we start? Which one of these AI bills is causing the biggest stir?
I'd say SB 942. This one's turning heads because it's all about labeling AI-generated content, which might sound simple, but it has huge implications for, well, everything we see online.
Labeling, huh? So are we talking like warning labels on memes now?
Not quite. It's more like a digital watermark. Invisible to us, but detectable by special tools. The idea is these AI systems have to include something called provenance disclosures.
Provenance disclosures. Sounds fancy.
Basically, it's info embedded within the content itself that verifies if it was made by AI. So you could check if that viral video of a cat playing Chopin is real or just some AI wizardry.
Whoa, okay, that's kind of cool. But also, is this watermarking thing foolproof? Can't some tech genius just hack it?
You're thinking like a true skeptic. It's a valid concern, this watermarking technology. It exists. It's getting better all the time, but there's always that risk, right?
Of some code-slinging maverick figuring out how to game the system. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Exactly. It's like an arms race. This law's a bold move, for sure. But is it checkmate or just the first move in a very long game? Let's see how it all plays out.
So California is trying to build a fence around a moving target. Makes you wonder how effective any of this can really be in the long run.
It's a challenge, no doubt. But the fact that California is even trying to regulate this space, demanding transparency, that's huge. It sets a precedent.
Precedent, for sure. Feels like the first page of a long, complicated story. Okay, but before we move on, we got to talk about SB 926. This one seems intensely personal. Deepfakes used for harassment, especially in, well, sensitive situations, let's say.
Right. This one gets really serious really fast. This bill is about how AI can be used to cause real harm. Governor Newsom himself said, and I quote here, "Nobody should be threatened by someone on the internet who could deepfake them, especially in sexually explicit ways."
Wow. Yeah, it's a scary thought and a sad reality. People are already dealing with this stuff.
Exactly. This tech is being weaponized. SB 926 makes it crystal clear. Creating and sharing those kinds of deepfakes. Criminal offense.
Drawing a line in the sand. If you use AI to hurt someone like that, there are consequences, but proving intent in those cases, that's got to be tough, right?
You hit the nail on the head. Intent. That's the word that'll make or break these cases.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate between, say, a mean prank and something truly malicious?
Yeah, where's the line between a deepfake as a joke and a deepfake as a weapon? I bet the courts are going to have a field day with this one.
Oh, absolutely. This is uncharted legal territory.
It's like the law is always playing catch up with technology. By the time they write the rules, the game's changed. Speaking of changing the game, California is not just going after the deepfake creators, are they? They're looking at where this stuff spreads, too.
Right on. And that's where SB 981 enters the picture. This one puts those social media giants on notice. They got a role to play in all this.
So what's the plan? Algorithms sniffing out deepfakes? Or armies of interns scrolling through every single post?
Less about the how, more about the what. SB 981 makes it crystal clear. Social media platforms need a clear system for reporting this stuff, especially deepfakes, the really bad ones.
You mean the non-consensual, explicit kind that Governor Newsom was talking about?
Exactly. Someone reports a deepfake of themselves, the platform has to investigate. If it's legit, gone.
About time. Seriously, it feels like every week there's another story. Someone's being harassed. They try to get this awful stuff taken down, and nothing. It's infuriating.
That's the challenge, right? Passing a law is one thing, but enforcing it. Especially with these tech companies, they practically invented loophole, right?
Oh, they've got lawyers for days and more money than they know what to do with.
Exactly. So how effective will SB 91 actually be? Depends on a few things. how it's put into practice, how much power those regulators really have, and, well, how hard these platforms want to fight back.
Because let's be real, these companies, they're used to getting their way. But hey, at least someone's stepping up to the plate, right? And these three bills, this isn't even the whole story, is it?
Not even close. Seems like Governor Newsom's on a roll with this AI regulation thing. Just last week, signed 2 more bills. This time, it's about protecting how performers look, their digital likeness.
So someone can't just create a deepfake of, like, Tom Hanks doing something awful and plaster it all over the internet.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to explicit content, that's a huge no-no now. It's about protecting people in the entertainment industry from having their image misused.
Interesting. So it's not just about protecting everyday people from deepfake harm. It's about how this tech could be exploited in Hollywood and beyond. But it makes you wonder, can regulation ever really keep up with AI?
Ah, the billion-dollar question. It's something I hear a lot. And it's a valid concern. This tech, it's evolving so fast. Today's solution is tomorrow's problem.
So we're doomed, stuck in this endless loop trying to regulate something that's always 10 steps ahead.
I wouldn't say doomed. I think it's about adaptation. We need lawmakers who are willing to learn, to adjust as AI changes. We need the tech geniuses working alongside them, making sure things don't go off the rails.
Okay, so it's not just about saying no to AI.
Exactly. It's about shaping how AI develops, making sure it's used for good. And for that, you need everyone at the table. Lawmakers, techies, and most importantly, people like you and me.
So this isn't just about California, is it?
Not even close. This is bigger than all of us.
Wow. Okay, so we've got these new laws, we've got the future of AI. Where do we even go from here?
That's the question, isn't it?
And we're back, folks. Hope everyone's had a moment to, reboot their brain after all that talk about deepfakes and digital watermarks.
Yeah, it's a lot to process. AI law, who knew it, could be so complicated.
Tell me about it. So let's bring it down to earth. For the average person scrolling through their phone right now, what's the takeaway? What does any of this actually mean for them?
It means buckle up, because the internet's about to get a whole lot weirder.
Weirder than it already is. That's a scary thought.
We're already wading through a sea of misinformation, right? Clickbait headlines, biased takes, the works. Now, you got to add, is this even real, to the list?
So it's not just about questioning what we're seeing, but like, who or what made it in the first place?
Exactly. And that's why that SB 942, the one pushing for labeling AI content, that's huge. If it works like it's supposed to, it gives you, the viewer, more power. You can decide what you're willing to trust.
Okay, so skepticism is our new superpower. But isn't it exhausting to be skeptical about everything all the time? Are there any, practical tools people can use to navigate this whole AI-generated world?
Absolutely. Keep an eye out for those AI detection tools we talked about earlier. It's early days, so who knows how user-friendly those will end up being. But honestly, a little common sense goes a long way.
Common sense, huh? What does that look like in the age of AI?
Pay attention to where the information's coming from. Is it a news source you recognize and trust? A comedian you follow? Or some account that just popped up out of nowhere?
Right, check the source. Got it. What else?
Look for those little inconsistencies. Something feels off. Maybe the lips aren't quite in sync in that video, those gut feelings. Those can be surprisingly accurate.
So we're all becoming digital detectives now, except instead of a magnifying glass, it's our critical thinking skills.
And a little sense of humor never hurt either. AI, it's like any technology. There's good and bad. And these new California laws, hopefully they're tipping the scales in the right direction.
Fingers crossed, right. Well, folks, looks like we've reached the end of our deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground today, but here's the bottom line. Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged. This is a crazy train of AI. It's not slowing down anytime soon, and we all have a part to play in figuring out where it's headed. Until next time, keep those questions coming.